Once again, I'm Catherine Corelli, and I'm doing an extra stream, an extra Tuesday live stream, because my previous attempts today have been a train wreck. So now I'm sitting with a different mic. This time it has a cable. And because I was so disappointed with the previous attempts, first, my other mic, my wireless mic wouldn't work. Then I tried to kind of adjust it, and on second try, it didn't work again. And then on third try, I had to use my phone mic, which I don't think the audio was very good. I mean, it was probably okay-ish for the stream, but I don't think it was very good. And so then I got really frustrated and I thought, okay, I wrapped up this stream. It's all cool. I gotta find a solution. Gotta do something about it. So I remembered that I had another mic somewhere, and went ahead and picked up that mic and tested it on YouTube Shorts, and tried it with the camera and this and that, and here we are finally with this mic. Now, the reason why I'm actually doing this extra stream, despite multiple attempts earlier in the past 3 hours, is because I actually never said what I wanted to say this week. One of these announcements that I want to make is that, first of all, tomorrow I'm going to be dropping a new article on my WordPress blog, which I would urge you to go and check out. It's a lengthy article. I hope to finish it tonight, then I'll drop it. And I want you to go ahead and check it out. The second thing is that on October 22nd, just in 8 days, I will have the next single from my Sun City album dropping. And it's dropping everywhere except for Spotify. And that's something that I think I should emphasize, because recently I quit Spotify. I can see that someone is there. Hello, what's your name? I am life. I am above you all. I will pray for your sins, because I really do believe you're not perfect like me, but you have. Gosh, what's with this? I am life. Oh my God. Victor, hello. Hi to you from Kentucky. This is my 4th attempt at a live stream today, because the previous 3 attempts failed because of technical difficulties. How are you doing? How is it going in Brazil? What's up? Oh, 8 people are sitting here. Thank you for the like. Today was a crazy day, really, and I just felt that I want to get it right. I want to test this other mic. Cooking, and you good? Well, like I said, today was a frustrating day. I started this live stream first 3 hours ago, and the mic that I had, a wireless mic, broke. So then I tried 2 more times, and then I ended up using the mic, the built-in mic on my phone, and I think the sound was crap. So then I went ahead and I looked for another mic. I found one, and I've made some testing, and it looks like it's working, which is cool, which means that next Tuesday I will go live again at 4 p.m. EDT. What are you cooking, Victor? I think I want to remove this first message because it's just narcissism on steroids. And there is actually a remark. Oh, I'm sorry. I hope everything gets better for you. Thank you. Well, it looks like everything is working now, finally. Looking forward, I just want to say that every Tuesday, I'm having this live stream where I'm just sitting and I'm chatting to people. Hi, Jack. Hello, how are you doing? I'm sitting and chatting to people. I'm a musician and I'm a painter, and my YouTube channel is mostly about those things. But once a week, I go live and I'm sitting here, accepting questions or just chatting about whatever is going on. You know what I mean? What kind of content is this? Says Jack. Well, Jack, I'm just explaining this as of right now. Oh, I'm making my dinner risotto. Oh, that sounds delicious. Jack, it's a live stream. It's just a chit-chat live stream. Every Tuesday, I sit down here, I click the live button, I go live, no makeup, no nothing. I'm just sitting here and just talking to people and introducing myself. I'm a painter and I'm a musician. Check out my content, see what I have. If you like it, subscribe. If you don't like it, don't subscribe. Either way is fine. There is no wrong answer here. Preemptively answered my question. Maybe you're a psychic. Maybe, I don't know. In whichever way, guys, if you like my stuff, great. If you don't like my stuff, wonderful. Whatever, find other stuff that you like. That's no big deal, I'm just trying to find my people, that's all I'm saying. And, trying to get new people, trying to get to know new people. Your hoodie looks comfy. Oh, it is. It's soft and really fluffy and nice. Yeah, I like pink color. I really do. What is your favorite color, Jack? Actually, my favorite color is orange. Oh, you're okay. Well, pink is wonderful. I like the various tints of pink. The orangish pink, the kind of beige, the light pink. I like them all, but I also have this thing for orange. I just love bright orange color. Is it too cold there? Well, today, down here in Kentucky, where I am, we were basically having a continuation of summer. So today was warm. Right now it's 18 centigrade. It was 23 or 24 centigrade today. So in the sun, it was actually hot. But I'm sitting in the garage here. The sun has set already. And I closed the garage doors and it's kind of a little chilly. And I had to pick up all the male cats and bring them back home just before the stream. So I had to, put on a hoodie. Green is also a good color. Yeah, agreed. In Brazil, it is never cold. Really? Do you have winter there? Do you have snow in Brazil or no? Like chlorophyll, looking at trees gives me a buzz. Yeah. Do you like looking at the sun through the leaves? I think there's something very cool about this. Tropical climate, so you don't have any snow there. Do you have any mountains in Brazil? Pardon my ignorance. My knowledge of geography is far from perfect. I actually come from, originally I'm not from the United States. I come from Russia, from Moscow. So where I come from, this time of year, it's very cold. And we have plenty of snow in the winter and freezing temperatures. So I kind of find myself rather blessed to live in the South where it's warm. It's really nice. How warm is it right now in Brazil? No, 3 people are watching. Wonderful. I can imagine what you said, like looking through a tree canopy. Yes, from the shade with the light beams lancing through all the little gaps between each individual leaf. Yes, that's what I mean. And I like to do this starting in spring, in late spring, and then throughout summer. I love to sit on the bench or sit in the grass and just watch the sunbeams going through the leaves. And it's somehow a very cozy feeling, you know what I mean? I think that it is more comforting to sit under the tree canopy, under all of those leaves, and kind of to absorb that light rather than sitting right directly in the open sun. Even though sometimes, you know, sitting in the open sun is cool, you know, to kind of warm up. But a lot of the times, I think just sitting in the shade under a tree is just, it's a beautiful feeling. I always wanted to see snow. And you never saw snow. Wow. That's amazing. Well, what can I say? You know, as a Russian, I want to invite you to visit Moscow. That's my hometown. I can mail you some. I can mail you some, if you like. Some green leaves, you mean, or what do you want to mail me? Tell me. I'm curious. Ah, some snow. You're talking to, okay, you're talking to Victor. I'm just guessing that Jack probably lives somewhere where there is snow. So Jack knows what snow is. I know what snow is very well. Coming from Moscow. Actually, since school, I have my fingers and my toes frostbitten. I'm not a fan of frost and winter, generally speaking. It's beautiful, you know, the snow and playing snowballs is wonderful and all that, very exciting stuff, but it's cold. Brazil has many mountains, but they are still hot. Wow. I've never been to Brazil. And pardon me, but I don't know a lot about your country. But this is in part why I'm sitting here, you know, on Tuesdays, because I listen to what people are saying. Maybe you can go to the tip of Argentina near Antarctica, or is it not safe? I guess Jack is talking to Victor. While you guys are talking, I just want to throw in something. It was a passing thought on my previous stream. You should come in a beautiful country, but you have problems. Safely. I would like to come. I would really love to come. But I just don't, I'm not in a position to travel right now. Let's put it this way. You know, financially, I'm just not there right now. I want to travel. I want to travel big time. I haven't been to Latin America, and I know that there is a lot of places that I want to visit, a lot of countries that I want to visit. I've been to Europe, but not to South America. One thing that I wanted to say, a little remark that I wanted to make on my previous live stream today, and I never made this remark. I have to say that I'm amazed at how many narcissistic people are out there. And what I mean by this is people who, I just don't know how to describe these people otherwise, because, so you're an artist, Catherine, that is very cool. I'm not so creative myself. Yes, I'm an artist. What do you do, Jack? So there is this type of people, like literally this live stream opened with a comment from someone who was saying, I'm better than you, I'll pray for you, whatever. That's narcissistic behavior right there. On my previous stream, there was at least 2 people who were very negative, they were very toxic, and they were posting nasty comments, and I had to ban them. But every time this happens, I'm thinking to myself, why are people doing this? And the only answer that I can come up with is that this is just attention-seeking behavior. And I'm thinking to myself, like, dude, what's your problem? You can go ahead and start your own live stream and go and chat and talk to people. You know, why do you need to go on someone else's live stream and just say nasty things? Why? You know what I mean? At least you know that Brazil is in South America. Many Americans I talked to thought it was in Africa. I always ended up laughing. Well, Victor, like I said, I'm originally not from around here. I'm from Moscow, Russia. I've immigrated to the United States 6 years ago in 2019, but I think I'm going to move from here again. So somewhere in between all of this, I would like to come and visit Brazil. As a Russian, I think my knowledge of my notion of geography is not that bad. So at least I can point the finger at the map and say, well, Brazil is in South America, and Chile is also in South America, and Peru is also in South America, and Argentina is in South America. See, I've never been to South America, but I know where those countries are. I'm a tech worker, but yes, I think these people have weird problems that they don't even realize they have. Yeah. And, you know, the thing about these people and about narcissistic people, generally speaking, and that's something that I learned just recently, they genuinely just they can't put themselves in the shoes of the other person, and they don't have the ability to see themselves from the outside. So they act in a narcissistic, toxic behavior, and they don't realize that some people might actually clock them, might actually read them as narcissistic and toxic. It's almost laughable, really. At least no one asked you how you live on a nut. Oh, okay. Can I show the comment? Oh, another moderator just handled this. Okay. Interesting. And I think generally speaking, it's unfortunately, and that's something that I learned with age, I guess, because I used to be a lot more naive 10 years ago. I used to think that people are just universally good, and I didn't have any valid explanation for how is it so that some people out of nowhere, you didn't do anything bad to them, and they just show up and they do nasty things, or they say nasty things, and they're provocative, and they're like, they have a really bad vibe. But, you know, in the past 10 years, I think I learned something, and a lot of people are just not self-aware at all. They just don't even realize how bad it is, you know? I didn't pay attention, I'm sorry. You're Russian, yes. What a cool thing. I love Russian culture. I'm glad you love Russian culture. And this is why I'm inviting people, everybody who haven't been to Russia. I want to invite everybody, come visit Russia. Here in the United States, I met a few people who, shall we say, are sort of Russophobic, but they never spoke to a Russian. They never traveled to Russia. They know nothing about Russia at all, and yet they're Russophobic. And that to me is hilarious, because I really don't understand this. How can you hate something? How can you hate some other people and a different country without ever making the effort to learn anything about them? You know what I mean? Isn't that stupid? I met some Russians, but they fled to Tallinn. Ah, I think I know what kind of Russians you met. I think I know exactly what you're talking about. Now, I'm going to stop myself here because this is YouTube. I'm trying to watch my language. I'm trying not to discuss certain topics because otherwise I'll be banned. But I think we understand each other. If those were Russians who fled to Tallinn, then I know what kind of Russians those were. Let's just say that I am not that type of Russian. I wasn't fleeing in 2019. Oh, well, I understand. Oh, okay, well, That's a valid point. Because some Russians fled for other reasons, not for the good ones. I moved in 2019 because of marriage. That's why I moved. But I wasn't fleeing. I wasn't running away because, because I hated Russia or something. No, I just wanted to move forward. I just wanted to move out into the world and see what the world has for me. But yeah, I can't understand hating an entire people, but the world is quite polarized right now. Oh yeah, and it's horrible. It's really bad. I hope that there are more people like you, Jack, like Victor from Brazil. Guys, you're wonderful. I wish there were more people like this. And something tells me that there is a growing number of people who are just more open-minded. I think open-mindedness can solve a lot of problems. And also, just proactively learning about other cultures, other religions, other countries, picking up another language, all of it helps. I strongly believe that if you have a lot of people who pay attention and who are interested in other people, who are not close-minded, who keep an open mind, it is a lot more difficult to divide these people. It is a lot more difficult to control and brainwash these people, and it's very important. I doubt many people know Russia is a federated states with like 22. Yeah, it has a lot of regions. That's true. And also, Russia has the largest proportion of ethnicities, of different distinct ethnicities living in the Russian Federation, even more than China. I don't remember, the number is like something like 250 different ethnicities, something like this. So it's not all just Russians. There's a lot of different people living within Russia. Well, for example, there is Бурятия, there is Nenetsky автономный округ, there is Республика Чечня, there is Ingushetia, Удмуртия also, Yakutia, or Yakutский автономный округ, it is called, the Yakut Autonomous Region. I'm translating on the fly. Things like this. Tatarstan. So yeah, you have all of these subdivisions. Russian Federation is huge. There's a lot of people living there, and I just genuinely would like more people to come and visit Russia and just keep an open mind and discover Russia for themselves and just meet real Russians. Yakutia, yeah. Victor said, I saw a documentary about, and then Victor did not say about what was the documentary. Tell me, what was it about? Russia is huge, and I think that, yeah, many in the Western world don't realize how huge it is, how many people live there, how many different cultural traditions is mixed up there, and how it all kind of coexists. One thing that I particularly find kind of funny about the American narratives, the narrative about that Christians can't coexist with Muslims. I know a country where it's possible, and the name of that country is Russia. And that's not the only country, by the way. Oh, you were talking about the Russian mafia, okay. Well, Russian mafia, yeah, that's something. Russia is not the only country where Christians and Muslims and atheists and Buddhists coexist together and live just fine. Christians and Muslims also peacefully coexist in Iran, for example. And I'm just guessing in other countries. So, but I'm just saying it's funny to listen to mostly Western narratives, how they're usually talking about how, no, this is not possible. Muslims are always against Christians. No, that's just not true. That's just not true. Oh, yes, Jack, I completely agree. Yes, there is so much projection in this. Yes, so much projection that is nested within that propaganda. Yes, and it's all about divide and conquer, always. Separate these guys from those guys and saw division, and then prop up one side against the other side. It's horrible. I guess I kind of have to be careful with what I'm saying here on YouTube, because this is a topic that I can talk about extensively, but it might get me in trouble. I have to be careful. Where are you from, Jack? I'm assuming you're not from the United States. Are you from Canada, or are you from Britain? I have no idea. Russian mafia, oi. Talking about Russian mafia, Victor, I'm a millennial. So I'm a Russian millennial. In 1991, I was 12 years old. And I was growing up exactly during the Russian wild 90s, what we Russians refer to as лихие 90-е, the wild Russian 90s. I can't even start to tell you how much have I seen, how much lawlessness, what horrible things were going on in the streets of Moscow. And there was a lot of things that I didn't even know about until later, but it was a very, very dark time, that I can tell you. And when later in life I started watching documentaries like you did about Russian mafia, about, the 90s and what was going on, and, all of those things, I had a lot of flashbacks, and also just, it's a very triggering thing to look into, because when I look into something like this, scenes from my childhood, they start to show up, from my teenage years, and it's not always pleasant. A lot of it is very disturbing. Hope to visit Russia one time. I like photography, so I kind of just want to go around like villages and chill, eating sausages and photographing old USSR stuff. Please come visit. And by the way, as far as I know, right now, depending on what country you're in, direct travel to Russia is probably complicated or forbidden, but you can travel to a third country, like Serbia, for example, or Slovakia, or Croatia, maybe. Or maybe if you are close to the Baltic states, you can travel there and then maybe get into Belarus, and from Belarus travel to Russia. So, I mean, I don't know. There is probably a way. I'm from the UK. Thanks for asking, by the way. Yeah, I think I could travel to Georgia or something. Yeah, I think to Georgia, it should be no problem. You're welcome. Why would I not ask? And hey, since you're from the UK, Jack, I just want to say this one thing. I think that this is so sad that historically our countries, Russia and the United Kingdom, have been at odds. And it seems to be the case today. It's the same friggin' story again. I think it sucks a lot. And I just wish that there would be, that one day this would change and that our people can actually communicate more, that there could be more cultural exchange. I think that would be so helpful. I think that the division between different people across the world is so artificial, and I think it should end at some point, because we're living in the friggin' 21st century already. The year is 2025, by the way, and we're still being divided. People, and especially I can feel it here in America, the division and just the lunacy and the insanity of it. Straight vs LGBT, white vs black or brown, men vs women, Americans vs everybody else, And within the United States, everybody's supposed to be in a little box, And it's just, I understand who is doing this and why are they doing it. I get it. But I just also think, and I believe in this strongly, that we as people of the world, that we can push back against this and we can resist the propaganda, we can resist the brainwashing, we can be self-aware, we can communicate, we can talk to one another, we can learn each other's languages, we can exchange culture, and we can stand up to this sort of abuse, because that's what it is. On a global scale, this is abuse. And I think that's what we should do as conscious human beings, seriously. It is sad. I think that with open minds, we could learn so much from each other, from each other's cultures, economies, etc. Yes. Are you from London, Jack? No, I'm in Southampton. Currently, it is about 100 miles west. Gosh, I love these live streams. And I love them because I get to meet wonderful people like you guys. I don't know what YouTube is doing with their algorithm, seriously, because, I was under the impression that for a long while my channel was shadow banned. It might have been the case. I don't know. But let's put it this way. My faith in humanity is rekindled every time that I go in a live stream and someone like you guys hops in and we're having a normal, cool conversation about something, just, chatting about good things. It feels so good to the backdrop of the, general toxicity of the internet, and all the algorithms doing whatever, and speech being suppressed all the time. It's really pleasant. I'm currently married. I talked about this on my previous live stream, but I want to move to Greece, and I'm learning Greek currently. It's a difficult language, it's a crazy language, but, I'm Russian. So Russian and Greek seem to be on par as far as complexity. I want to move to Greece because I'm kind of drawn to the Mediterranean region, and it has a rich history, and I think that would be very cool for me, as both as a painter and a musician, to go there and to explore all the local cultures. What is it about the human experience that inspires you to create, Catherine? I'll try to put it in words. On a very profound level, I feel, first of all, I feel that everybody has a purpose. The trick is to discover that purpose. And so I always felt that Oh, you're learning German. Wonderful. On a deep level, I always felt that since I'm a creative person, and I've been this all of my life, I need to create things because someone somewhere needs to see it or needs to read it or needs to hear it. And I might not know the answers. I might not know why is it supposed to be this way. Just like I don't fully understand why am I even alive, you know? Well, I mean, one can use a lot of explanations for this. Sure, but what's the meaning of life? Life, I guess. I don't know, there's a variety of explanations, but it's not that I picked to be an artist because, well, that's a cool profession or something. No, it's because I just can't live without this. I need to say something. I need to write songs, I need to write music, I need to paint, I need to write. And someone somewhere needs to hear it, probably, but time and time again. And I'm no big, superstar or star or anything. I mean, I'm nobody, basically, which is fine. But once in a while, there is a person somewhere, over the years, over these past years, who reaches out to me and says, hey, I heard your song and it really spoke to me, or this was really cool and I felt something, I know the feeling, or this piece helped me so much. And that to me is a precious thing. This, money can't buy this. Yes, of course, as an artist, I want to support myself. True, but the thing that is a lot more important is when someone gets in touch with my art and it touches them for real and helps them. That's the coolest part, I think. And ultimately, this is the biggest source of my inspiration. I just keep doing what I'm doing, and sometimes I don't even completely understand why am I working on something, but I just keep going anyways. We can explain why we're alive down to so many levels of causation. Oh yes, absolutely. And yet, hilariously, every explanation can be also kind of not enough. It can sort of fall flat, because like, okay, we'll live because evolution. All right, well, that's a hell of an explanation. It still doesn't give you actually a purpose for being alive, right? Some might find purpose in their profession. Some might find purpose in, building a family, or in love, or in whatever. Some unfortunately don't find their purpose, and that's usually tragic. Dimka, I got one of my cats who's here in the garage with me, and he's probably hoping that I will let him out again, but it's too late. It's dark already, and I'm not letting him out. Димка, Димка, иди ко мне, малыш. Иди сюда, котик. Иди к маме. That was really insightful. I think I would be fine if no one ever saw any of my photos. What about you and your art? I wouldn't be fine with that because I think that ultimately I'm doing whatever I'm doing this for others to see, for others to hear, for others to read. And I want to draw an important distinction here. This is not because I'm looking for approval or validation or something like that. No, I'm not in it for these reasons. But like I said, because I know that once in a while someone reaches out back to me and says, hey, I heard this song, this helped me. I had a period earlier in my life when I was younger. I didn't quite know. I didn't quite have this answer. I was just writing because, well, I just feel like writing, this kind of thing. I was trying to put a band together, and well, everybody, when they're a teenager, wants to make a band, right? So I was trying to do it too. And I couldn't explain the pull that I had for music and for art. But then after a while, I believe it was the year 2007 or 2008, there was a girl that reached out to me, and she got into a car crash and she broke her neck. That's the story that she told me. So she broke her neck and she's in a hospital, and she asked her friend, and back then it's like 2008, right? She asked her friend to bring her some music, something, and an MP3 player. So her friend downloaded my song among other music somewhere on the internet, pirated music basically, and brought it to her in the hospital. And so she heard one of my songs, and then after she got out of the hospital, she reached out to me. She found me on the internet, and that was pretty hard to find back then. She found me and she told me the story that she was in the hospital. She was, recovering. She was in really kind of a bad condition with that broken neck, and my song helped her a lot. And then we met, and she was from Moscow too. So later that winter we met, and she made a scarf for me, and I wore that scarf for years, really, because it was so special and it was so amazing. Just the feeling of this, that I wrote a song, someone heard it somewhere, and it helped that person to recover, to to push back against whatever they had, whatever the circumstances of their life were. You know what I mean? So I think this is a beautiful thing. Let me get the cat out. Dimka, you want to get out? Come on, go. Got him out. He was walking around and squeaking. So, coincidence or fate, I don't know. This is what I'm talking about. So that's really sweet how you got a scarf, yes. But this is what I'm talking about. I write and I paint and I make music, not just because I like to create things, and I can't live without creating things, but also because I know that someone somewhere needs it, even if I never met that person. You know what I mean? This is that extra little push that keeps me going. And different people go into arts for different reasons. Some want to be a star. They want to be famous, which is fine. Some people want that. Some people go for money because they think that they can become famous and they can, whatever. And they do that. That's fine too. And some people are just bound to be artistic because they have no other recourse. Believe me, I tried other things in life. I did other jobs. I freelanced for over 15 years. Basically, my whole adult life, I was freelancing. And just, it's not that I can't do something else. I can, but it's just not my thing. And frankly, I don't see a reason to waste the time of my life, and anybody at all. I think it applies to anybody. Nobody should waste the time of their life doing something that they can't put their heart into. You see what I mean? Time to sleep. Thanks for the chat. Hope you get some nice people join your life. Thank you very much, Jack. It was a pleasure being with you. And I actually think, well, good night to you, sweet dreams. And I think I'll be actually wrapping up this live soon. I got to go and study my Greek. So bye-bye to you. It's getting pretty late, actually, here. I mean, it's what? It's 8:16. I'm not quite sure if anybody else is going to hop in. I'm kind of really glad at this point, and I'm just gonna say it before, even though there are no people watching right now, I'm still gonna say it. I'm really glad that I fixed the mic problem. I'm kind of sitting here having this bubbly feeling in my stomach because my mic is working. I think it's super cool. What do I want to say? Thing number one is that if you like my content, if you're into painting, if you're into music, subscribe to my channel and consider becoming a member. If you're not into my stuff, just, whatever, have a good day. That's fine. The other thing is that tomorrow I'm dropping an article on my WordPress site, and I want to invite you, of course, to check out my WordPress, because currently I'm working on this huge project called Sun City. Sun City is comprised of a musical album, which I'm working on, and I'm releasing single after single after single from this album. A series of paintings, which I'm painting currently, and a book that I'll be working on. Now, in preparation for the book, I'm publishing these articles about the Sun City story. And these articles are published on WordPress. If you want to check them out, one way you can find them is go to my community tab here on my channel, scroll down, and probably from last week there's going to be a link to my WordPress. So just a little bit of scrolling and you'll find it. So in light of this, tomorrow there's going to be a new article, and it's going to be a lengthy one. Actually, I'm going to wrap up this stream now, and then I'm going to go ahead and do my Greek, and then I'm going to go and work on the article. It should drop tomorrow. And then the other thing is that on October 22nd, in just 8 days, I will have the next single from the Sun City album dropping everywhere, except for Spotify. But it will also drop here on my YouTube channel. I want to raise awareness about it, apparently, because I want people to hear it. So check it out. But what I'm saying is that every song that was released so far, like Giants, Run, Tunnels, Bleeding Life, High Sky, Through the Blue Gates, Sun City, Cool Blue Shadows and Rosewater, Reaper, and Arena Proving Grounds, all of these songs, they have their corresponding articles on my WordPress website. So not only can you look up the lyrics for the songs to kind of get the vibe and what are the songs actually about, but the articles provide you with the underlying narrative, what's going on actually on this album, because it's not just a disjointed collection of songs, it is a story. The articles lay out a more basic sort of story. And this fall and winter, I will start working on a book. And the book, of course, will be a lot more expensive. So that's what I wanted to say. Also, the third thing is that I'm almost done painting a Halloween-themed painting, which I hope to wrap up either tonight or tomorrow. And I will publish a print of this new Halloween-themed painting. I will publish it in my Etsy store. So, of course, I want to invite you, if you're watching, if you're interested, you probably know that I'm a painter already, go and check out my Etsy store. I see 2 people just hopped on and then they disappeared and whatever, it's okay. It's been a long day. I think I'm gonna be here for another 10 minutes probably, and then I'm gonna just sign off. And next week, I'm gonna show up on Tuesday. What is it gonna be? October 21st, Tuesday, October 21st, 4 p.m. EDT, 4 p.m. my time. And we're gonna have another live stream. This time I'll be using this mic right away. And this way I will just ensure that there are no interruptions, that there is none of this going on. Nobody's watching, there is no people. Anyways, I wanted to say these things because I forgot to tell them earlier on my previous streams today, because of all those technical difficulties, and all of it was falling apart. None of it worked. The mic jammed. Then something was wrong with the live stream, and so I just had to put this out there for everybody who's watching. And some people will be coming later and rewatching the whole thing, so here it is. Anyways, I think, with that being said, I think I'll be wrapping this up. Once again, if you like my content, if you're into painting and into music, and I have a whole lot of music, by the way, check out my content. If you like it, subscribe and stay in touch, and consider becoming a member, of course. If you don't like it, that's okay. No big deal. So have yourself a wonderful time of the day, wherever you are in the world, and I'm signing off. Thank you very much, and ciao.